Hi, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Politics with Sherry Jacobus. Thank you for subscribing. If you're not yet subscribed, please hit that button and help me out. We are seeing some disturbing things. I know that's an evergreen statement regarding Trump administration and his supporters, including Fox News, really doubling down in terms of misidentifying people who oppose them or who are hurting them. They are claiming that certain people who are, in fact, known MAGA or not proven to be the left at all are lefties coming after them, killing people. So this is disturbing because they're doing it so blatantly. Jesse Waters is doing it on Fox News. He is an absolutely shameful person, dangerous, actually, with no conscience. But we know that, let's see, Tyler Robinson. All right. He was the alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk, at least one of them. And he's never been a Democrat, never been a socialist, never been a progressive, never a liberal. He's never been a member of any leftist group or organization or movement. He was raised by Mormons, however. He was raised by MAGA. He loved guns. He followed right-wing influencers. He was clearly filled with hate. He had literally zero connections to anybody on the left. And yet they are out there just saying that he's on the left. Even Charlie Kirk's widow said this at the memorial. Also extremely irresponsible to be talking that way when someone hasn't even had trial. They're still collecting evidence. But this is who they are. This is who they are. Trump is out there doing it, claiming that they're all Antifa. They're the left. We have Thomas Jacob Sanford. Now, he was the Michigan shooter. And Trump immediately went out there and out publicly and called this person Antifa. On the left, he's not. The shooter in Michigan over the weekend is MAGA. He had the big truck with the American flags. He had a Trump yard sign in his yard, and that was from the Google Map photograph. So you can't deny it. He's on Facebook, wearing his Trump shirt with Trump's picture and hating the left and that sort of thing. So again, another mass shooter, murderer is MAGA. And in fact, they usually are white nationalist MAGA people, MAGA guys. Now, they removed them from the official government list as being a big threat. White nationalist, white guys as being a threat, a terror threat in this nation. They have been identified for years as a growing danger. And the FBI has known this. They're trying to infiltrate the ranks of the military. Now we see where Trump and the people that control him are using this as a weapon rather than considering it a danger in America. This should concern us all. Trump has also gone out there and just claimed that Antifa is a terror group, a domestic terrorist group. Antifa is not a group. It's not an organized group. It simply doesn't exist. Antifa means anti-fascist, period. And we've talked about this before. What's dangerous is that Trump can now claim anybody who opposes him or his policies as Antifa and have us arrested and sent away where you never heard from us again. And I fully believe this is what he intends to do. The fascism and the authoritarianism of Trump and his supporters has taken root, it's taken hold, it's growing very, very quickly. So we have an FBI director that, again, is lying about who these shooters are. So we have no guardrails except for us in the court. And even those seem to be crumbling. I don't actually have the answers for any of this right now, but I think the worst thing we can do is be in denial. You heard me rail against how for so many years we were told that Merrick Garland was on the case. And those of us that were legitimately concerned that he wasn't, that something was wrong as time wore on. And so many people were led down this path of complacency. He's just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. That was dangerous. That was dangerous to be fooled that easily. And also to be fooled to open your wallets for people sensibly fighting Trump and electing Democrats when they were pocketing about half the money, millions and millions of dollars, instead of electing Democrats, which meant Democrats lost the House majority. This stuff matters. So yesterday I talked about us, we have to accept our role in this. We have to start being smarter. We can't just believe these people outright. But now that they know how gullible we are, because we showed them over the years, they're more bold, they're more blatant. And now, despite clear evidence, physical evidence that the shooters are MAGA, they're saying, nope, they're Antifa, they're leftists. You even have Jesse Waters saying this on Fox News. I mean, how many times can we sue these people into oblivion? Okay. Fox already had to pay close to $800 million for lying to their audience for defamation. Their audience doesn't know, though. You couldn't even talk to them about the Dominion case. They don't know. Fox isn't going to tell them what happened. Okay. But this is what's happening. We have Pete Hegseth, who summoned 800 of our top military brass to Quantico today. Unprecedented, dangerous, everything. Have them all in one place, brought them in from all over the world so he could try and sell his book and tell them that we don't want any beards in the military and nobody wearing dresses. No, that was pretty much it. And when he walked off the stage, they didn't clap. None of them. They know what he is. See, it's easier for them to recruit low-level people in the military who are MAGA, brainwashed. They're using Charlie Kirk now. Charlie Kirk's death, they're exploiting that to try and recruit people to enlist. But the military brass, the senior guys, they know better. They know what Trump is. They know that Trump thinks that the men and women who have died in combat are suckers and losers. They know. They know he's a draft dodger. They know that Pete Hegseth is just a hair-gelled Fox News TV host, a drunk. And, they get this. And I'm sure that not only did they not clap, but I'm sure there's some murmurings in their ranks offline where they are disgusted and concerned. They know better. But that is the difference between the brass and the enlisted folks that Trump is trying to recruit, just like he's trying to recruit these people into ICE. He wants the January 6 people who should spend the rest of their lives in prison for the insurrection of January 6th. He's got them at DOJ. These are the people he wants. So yeah, it's dangerous. It is dangerous. Now the rest of the world sees what's going on. They laugh at us, but they're afraid too, because the United States, we were the strongest, best protector country in the world. And now we're the most dangerous at a very, very dangerous time. We see a president with dementia who's evil, who's a fascist and authoritarian and a narcissist and a sociopath. Trump doesn't care about anybody but himself. So what happens when these people in military or the ICE agents or the Secret Service agents that he's recruiting to be loyal to him, what happens when he throws them under the bus? Is it too late for them? Because he doesn't care about any of them. And every single person that latches onto him finds this out. So it's a mystery to me. It's a mystery to me why they do it. I think we have a lot of MAGA that just don't want to admit they were wrong, or they kind of like this because as long as he's beating up somebody else, as long as it's somebody else that they hate, or who they know we're right. They know that they're nabbed as being traitors, fascists, liars, supporting a pedophile. They don't want to admit that's who they are. So now they just want to fight us and beat us because they know we're right, and they're angry about that. They would love nothing more than to have Trump's military goons, his ICE agents, his personal Gestapo show up at our doors, bust our doors down, and drag us off. We don't even hear about the 1,200 missing souls from Alligator Alcatraz. Our media is too afraid to touch that one. Our media is dead. We do not have media like we had. That's why I like foreign media and our independent media, like little folks like me, because we don't have to respond to the suits. They can't control us as easily. Well, they can shut us down, I guess. They can, like Elon shadow bans us on Twitter. But we're still out there and we're still going to do it. We're still going to be a voice. But I think it's important that we understand that this second Trump administration is very different from the first, because at the first, we still had people in there who were trying to do the right thing, who were some guardrails, who at least could tell us what was going on, who could tell us, Trump's chief of staff, they're telling us that Trump thought our military men and women were losers and suckers. But we don't have that anymore. We are kind of at their mercy, aren't we? But we did have a special election last week where a Democrat was elected enough to give us enough votes in the House to force a vote on the release of the Epstein files. So what did they do? Speaker Mike Johnson simply decides not to swear her in. There are things happening that any one of them individually would have been huge front page news, all that we're talking about, where we would not be able to believe the corruption and the lies and the gaslighting. Now we're experiencing this several times a day. So the only thing I can say, I guess, is be careful who you listen to. I don't have a complete read, obviously, on 800 military brass that were flown in from around the world just for whatever this was with Pete Hegseth. It was a joke. He's a ridiculous person, dangerously ridiculous. But the fact that they were forced to come here for this, to be talked to like that by him, I at least have some hope. You got to look at these little pinpricks of light. The fact that there was not any applause at the end as Hegseth walked off the stage, and he looked a little shaken by that. I'm not a psychiatrist. I can't get a total read on the minds of the top military brass based on that, but it is an indication that they see what we're seeing. I don't know what they can do about it, but I'm hoping that Hegseth realizes that if he tries to give some orders that maybe they're not copacetic with, maybe are unconstitutional or illegal, he might have some pushback. On the other hand, it could be that Trump, Putin, they may want that challenge. They may want that challenge. Maybe they'll escalate their authoritarianism and their fascism. We know what they want to do. We know that they want bloodshed. They do. And we, by being in denial about what Trump is and always has been, we let this happen.